Serving Western Manitoba, you're watching CKX Television.
Tonight on CKX News at 6, a new group of soldiers set out overseas.
I'm anxious to get over there.
And it's all hands on deck for the Brandon Wheat Kings tonight as they take on the Red Deer Rebels. Plus, here on CKX News at 6, we begin our final cast.
CKX has been part of my life right from, when we got a TV, so that was our channel. So it's going to be really sad.
CKX News at 6.
Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us. It's no way to start off a cast, but we begin tonight with a goodbye. As of 7 o'clock tonight, CKX Television will cease to exist. Blue Point Investment Corporation pulled out of the deal yesterday afternoon. The deal has always been contingent on CRTC approval, but when the CRTC refused to grant mandatory satellite carriage for the station, Blue Point pulled out. Well, the station's been embedded into the fabric of Westman since 1955. We cover stories in Dauphin, Portage la Prairie, Neepawa, as far south as Killarney, Boissevain, and Coulter. CKX is the only television station to provide quality coverage to those areas, and we will miss the stories those communities have to share. CTV announced back in February that it would not be renewing our contract. It looked at one point like Shaw would pick us up. It dropped us soon after. Then Blue Point Investment came in with its talk of grassroots commitments, but as of last night, it is no longer a viable buyer. This will be the last newscast for CKX TV and the last time viewers will pick up any signal at all for this station. CKX's Tanya Kohat has some of the local reaction.
It'll be missed. It'll be missed.
CKX has been part of my life right from, when we got a TV, so that was our channel. So it's going to be really sad.
For sure, it's an awful thing that Brandon doesn't even have a television station. Like, we're not much of a city without something.
Thursday afternoon, the news came suddenly.
We looked as though we were closing. Everything was done, and then Blue Point Investments came out of the blue in August to say they'd buy the station, and since then we've been working on the application for the CRTC, which was filed this week. They came back saying they would not give mandatory satellite carriage to CKX Brandon, and at that point Blue Point has decided that it just didn't make sense for them to move forward without that.
After months of hanging in limbo, the decision was final. CKX would close the next day.
I was hoping it was a hoax, and as it turns out, unfortunately, it's not. We were all very excited for not only the city and all of southwestern Manitoba, but especially for you folks, the employees, and to have it go the way it has is very disappointing.
CKX has covered the Westman region, from making friends at City Hall to being a window to the outside world.
CKX has been the media of record that's available in every household throughout Western Manitoba for the last half century. It diminishes the stature of the city, it diminishes the stature of the region, and that's never a good thing. So it's a very dark day for Brandon and Western Manitoba.
And while 39 jobs are lost, so are future opportunities.
There is so much more that comes with the station. I mean, yes, the jobs are really important to the local economy, but we're looking at the linkages now between spousal employment that are linked with those. We're also looking at the great relationship that's been had with Assiniboine Community College.
As the source for hands-on, accessible, local coverage comes to an end.
We're the second largest city in the province. To lose our only television station, I think a sign of what's to come in this market. And I think for those students, they're going to look at other options now and possibly not come to Brandon to go to school, or if they do go, they're not going to have practicum or maybe job opportunities.
It's been a selling feature for us, all the coverage we get here for our program, so it's hard to imagine really what it's going to be like without them.
CKX, in all its transformations over the years, is signing off.
Now what are we supposed to do for a local news network on television? There's nothing for us to watch for that. The closest thing would be Winnipeg, which isn't Brandon. It's it's Winnipeg, so it does nothing to benefit the locals and surrounding area of Westman.
After more than 50 years and thousands of your stories, we have holes in the ceiling and tape holding together our microphones. But as the doors close at CKX, this is our station and yours. In Brandon, Tanya Cohet, CKX News.
As I say, the show must go on at least until 7 o'clock. Let's take our first look at weather. Sitting at 7 degrees right now, wind to the northeast at 26. The relative humidity is 73%. We're not the only ones who had to say goodbye today. The family and friends of 30 soldiers from the Royal Canadian Horse Artillery sent off loved ones to Afghanistan for a 6-month tour. And as CKX's Candace Bowles shows us, it wasn't an easy departure.
It was a room full of emotions, with some knowing what to expect and others not so sure, but looking forward to the adventure.
Probably the experience, just seeing what it's like over there, the different culture, and yeah, just the experience of it all. Because I'm not really sure what to expect.
Brent joined the military 3.5 years ago. He wanted a stable job in order to provide for his family, but nothing could have prepared them for today.
Up until probably this morning, I just went about my regular routines, doing the kids' things, and just kind of try to put it out of my head or just pretend it was like going on courses and things like that. So today's going to be a rough day once he gets on that bus.
You want to try it on? Hey, bud. Here you go.
Especially rough for Nolan, who is 4, and 6-year-old Olivia, but they tried their best to make the goodbye easier for them.
We just kind of sat her down and told her, you know, I'm going away, and I think the 3 months in Suffield, you know, that helped her too, because Dad wasn't there for 3 months. So, and with this tour, I should be back around Christmas time.
But until then, they have rituals they will do so they don't forget about their daddy.
We're going to send a letter each week in the mail from Dad to Olivia, so she's getting the peace of mind of hearing from him at least that way, because calls are probably going to be far and few between.
And for this stay-at-home mom, she says she's going to take everything away from the experience that she can.
It's one more thing that's just going to make me tougher, so help me get through it. So, and I am proud of him. He's doing a remarkable thing.
This is the 7th group of Manitoba-based personnel to head out to Afghanistan, and in a couple weeks, 250 more will be joining them. In Shiloh, Candace Bowles, CKX News.
It's an answer in the case, but it won't bring police closer to solving the disappearance of Amber McFarland. A lie detector test has taken one of the RCMP's top suspects off the list of those involved with the disappearance of Amber McFarland. Graham Saxton was one of the 2 men arrested in connection with her disappearance in July. At that time, CKX learned that 40-year-old Saxton and McFarland's 39-year-old ex-boyfriend were arrested. They were released without charges just days later. RCMP will not confirm Saxton's claims that he is no longer a suspect, but Saxton says he was given that information earlier this week. He picked them up thinking they were legitimate customers, but 2 men had more than just a ride in mind this morning in Portage. They were wielding a knife and demanded money from their taxi driver. The incident happened in the northeast part of the city. An undisclosed amount of cash was turned over and the suspects fled. The 62-year-old driver was uninjured. The suspects are described as being between 18 to 24 years of age with average build, wearing hooded sweaters. Police are still investigating the case. A knife, drugs, alcohol, some cash, and love letters from a female nurse. Those were among the items being secretly stashed away by a mentally ill patient at the Selkirk Mental Health Center. That discovery by staff has led to major security upgrades at the facility. The patient, 26-year-old Joey Weave, has been held there since he was found not criminally responsible in 2001 for the murder of his stepmother at their home in Niverville, Manitoba. The center is also holding Vince Lee, the man who beheaded Greyhound bus passenger Tim McLean back in 2003. Well, hard work is definitely paying off for one Brandon resident. Darren Galechik took a bow today in front of friends and family. He's the recipient of the 2008 National Award for Outstanding Achievement after earning top marks on the tests of General Educational Development, also known as the GED. Candidates must complete 5 tests covering math, science, reading, writing, and social studies. They measure communication, information processing, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. Galechik says it's an honor to receive the recognition, but now armed with his GED, he says he's just looking forward to what the future will hold.
One of the possibilities is attending ACC, taking a construction electrician course. Hopefully that'll lead to becoming a commercial electrician. And yeah, I'm seeking other opportunities too at the same time. So, and none of which would have been possible without a grade 12. So.
And there's another man vying for the top prize. Greg Selinger is back in the lead for the NDP race. He now has the highest number of committed delegates, 582, compared to Steve Ashton, who brought in 366. Selinger also has Winnipeg New Democrat MP Judy Washalisa-Lees. Still, a lot can happen between now and this month's leadership vote. Party members go to the polls on October 17th at a convention in Winnipeg. Well, to Ag News now. Last month we told you about the presence of genetically modified flax in a Canadian shipment of grain. Authorities were baffled then. Canada doesn't grow genetically modified flax, and no one knew how it came to be in a Canadian shipment sent to Europe. Well, since then, flax prices have dropped dramatically, 40% over the last month. Researchers are still trying to determine where the GM flax was grown. A spokesperson with Flax Canada says there are many ways the shipment could have become contaminated, and finding out may take some time. Questions around carbon credits are creating hesitancy among producers. The Manitoba Cattle Producers Association is telling producers to think hard before signing on to government environmental initiatives. President Joe Bouchard says the province ignored MCPA's input for the new Environmental Farm Action Program and the Manitoba Sustainable Agriculture Practices Program. Bouchard says producers need to know how the province plans to measure carbon credits, what value they'll be assigned, and who will own the credits once the funding has expired. MCPA is also concerned about protecting producers' privacy. Bouchard says applying for the funding may mean giving personal and operational information to unintended parties. Well, preparations for an expected outbreak of H1N1 in the weeks ahead are ramping up. Public awareness campaigns are rolling out. Vaccines are being ordered and immunization programs are quickly being developed. Now attention is turning to another priority: who gives the shots? Well, the CBC's Havard Gould reports.
Check it out here, okay? Down to
Rosella Kanoshimeg doesn't like the word retired. She's turning 65, stopped work yesterday, but has a long list of things she wants to do. However, she could be back nursing in just a few weeks.
I'll drop whatever I'm doing and be available to help out in any way I can.
Across Canada, plans are being made to get qualified retired nurses to return to work should the latest wave of swine flu become severe. Today, New Brunswick's Nursing College launched an online appeal for retired nurses to register. Thousands of retired nurses may be needed simply to help with immunizations.
A temporary license for the purpose of the pandemic.
But in the worst-case scenario, there may be a surge of sick people and a shortage of healthy nurses to treat them.
Experts suggest that 20% of your workforce could be affected by the H1N1, either because they're ill themselves or caring for family members.
Quebec is constantly updating its list of recently retired nurses to be ready for any emergency. But other jurisdictions are making a special effort this year to be able to find and, if necessary, recertify nurses quickly.
In terms of licensing, we could do it in minutes.
What kind of retirement do you have planned?
I've been looking forward to the day.
Rosella Kanoshimeg lives in a remote Aboriginal community, a place that may need her help. But in a crisis, she will be flexible.
I'll go where I'm needed.
Her hope? For everyone's sake, no crisis emerges. Extra nurses aren't needed, and the call never comes. Havard Gould, CBC News, Parry Sound, Ontario.
For the first time ever, the Olympics are heading to South America. Rio de Janeiro was named as the host of the 2016 Summer Games today. And while the Brazilian city had been considered a front runner, one of the big surprises was how quickly the American contender, Chicago, was knocked out of the running. The CBC's Steve Letterman has more from Chicago.
This was the day people here hoped the Windy City would become the Olympic City. There was a mixture of anticipation and optimism. Chicago seemed to do everything it could to try and sway the voters. The First Lady, a Chicago native, led the Chicago delegation. Oprah was there too, sounding very sure of Chicago's chances.
You know, when we get it, the moment, if we get it.
We look forward to welcoming the world.
To top it all off, President Barack Obama himself showed up, the leader of the free world making a direct appeal to the Olympic voters. But it was all for naught.
The city of Chicago, having obtained the least number of votes, will not participate in the next round.
Chicago didn't just lose the Olympic bid, it was the very first city eliminated in the selection process. Thousands who had come to one of Chicago's main plazas watched in stunned silence. You could see the confusion in their faces. Chicago's party ended before it even began.
For it to be over that quickly, that stunningly fast, it's heartbreaking. It really is.
I thought we were so well prepared. Beautiful city, incredible facilities. It was going to do great things for the economy of this city and the state and the country too.
The president, back in the U.S. now, defended his decision to promote the Chicago bid in person.
I believe it's always a worthwhile endeavor to promote and boost the United States of America and invite the world to come see what we're all about.
Eventually, the games were awarded to Rio de Janeiro. Brazil, the first South American country ever chosen to host the games. Thousands of people celebrated on Rio's famous beaches. And the party there may continue until 2016. Many Chicagoans are in shock. Not that Chicago didn't win, but that it was knocked out in the very first round. You could say the wind was knocked out of the Windy City. Steve Letterman, CBC News, Chicago.
Celebrity indiscretions are nothing new, and famous people are often the targets of harebrained blackmail schemes. But the American airwaves were burning with some hot gossip about affairs and extortion last night, right from the horse's mouth, as it were. The CBC's David Common has the sordid story.
David Letterman dropped a bombshell on his audience last night, and awkwardly, they waited for the punchline. Finally, he built up to this.
That I have had sex with women who work for me on this show. Now, my response to that is, yes, I have.
It's no joke. Letterman's stunner allegedly forced by this man, Robert Halderman, a top news producer at CBS. Prosecutors say he demanded $2 million from Letterman to keep the affairs quiet, and add that Halderman even wrote a screenplay as part of his blackmail attempt.
His information about his private life is disclosed, leading to a, quote, ruined reputation, unquote, and severe damage to his professional and family lives.
With no Late Show taping today, no more comment from David Letterman. And besides, he said last night he wouldn't be speaking publicly again about either the extortion attempt or the sexual affairs. The big question now is what impact those revelations will have on the TV funny man's image and his show. Outside the Late Show studio, varied opinions.
I just wish guys would learn to keep their peckers in their pants. You know, you're a public person. Why do you do that?
Oh, that's crazy. That's out of control. Well, I mean, that happens.
Now, I want to see a picture of the girl, and of course, we're waiting for the wife, you know, for her reaction.
That likely won't happen. 62-year-old Letterman may be newly married, but he's been with his now wife since 1986. They have a 6-year-old son together.
I was worried for my family. I felt menaced by this.
All of it a big mess for Letterman's family, the unknown number of women staffers he's slept with, and CBS. David Common, CBC News, New York.
Well, I hope you don't mind. We are doing things a little bit differently tonight, and still ahead, we look back at more of our time here at CKX News. Stay with us and celebrate the last 54 years of your local television station.
News is brought to you by Bathfitter. Trust Bathfitter to transform your bathroom. A custom-made tub is installed over your old one in just one day.
Strike it rich at Reese's this month with the new Reese's Gold Rush sale in their new Shoppers Mall location. All gold and jewelry is on sale with savings up to 50% off. Choose some of these stunning pieces like chains, gold bracelets, pendants, diamond and gemstone rings, fine quality jewelry, and so much more. With great savings throughout the store, don't miss the opportunity to strike gold this month in Reese's new Shoppers Mall location.
Starting October 6th, Monopoly is back at McDonald's. And this year, with different ways to play, there's $1 million at stake online every day until November 2nd. Monopoly at McDonald's. Come in to play, and you could win big. So no matter how you play, every day is another chance to roll for $1 million online starting October 6th. So what's your game?
Precision Toyota has brought in a team of paintless dent repair specialists to help with the hail damage Westman just received. In most cases, they can have your vehicle on the road looking new in 24 to 48 hours. Your manufacturer's paint warranty will not be affected by the paintless repairs. If the damage is too severe, Advanced Auto Body will provide you with the courtesy car until your vehicle is back to its original condition. Any make of vehicle can be serviced at our shop. Even if you haven't contacted Autopack, drop by Precision Toyota for some expert advice. 404 18th Street North, or give us a call at 725-0508.
Weather is brought to you by your locally owned and operated Leon's Furniture Superstore. Make your living space stand out with new styles and colors from Leon's Furniture Superstore.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our Westman Proud picture. This photo was taken this morning. All of the faces responsible for bringing you your news and programming every day, well, except for our producer Matt Turpin. His shift started an hour later, but we will bring him out later on in the show and we'll make sure you know who he is. We hope you don't mind. But we're taking a few opportunities throughout the show to celebrate the people and stories of the past half a century. And thanks to everyone for your feedback throughout the years and for sending in the photos and stories that reflect your Westman. Let's take a look now at our current conditions. Right now we're sitting at 7 degrees, wind out of the northeast at 26, relative humidity 73%. Now looking at temperatures around the region, Dauphin at 8, Roblin, whoa, look out, heat wave, 11 degrees there, 6 degrees in Gladstone, 11 in Verdun, Valetta, and Deloraine as well. Only 6 degrees in Killarney. I hope Mom, you got that sweater on. Stay warm. Boys of Vane, 6 degrees as well. 7 in Souris, 6 degrees in Shiloh. Over in Pilot Mound, 6 degrees. Rivers, 5. McCreary, Wasagami, and Carberry all at 6 degrees. 4 degrees in Neepawa, 9 in Shoal Lake, 10 in St. Lazare, 11 in Moosomin, and 6 degrees in Treeherne. Well, let's take a look at temperatures across the province and across the country.
Wow, it sure pays to save.
Oh, tell me about it. I just traded in my SUV for something more efficient.
Oh yeah, one of those new hybrids?
No, something even better.
Everyone wants to save money this year, so Leon's is having an incredible Honey They Shrunk the Prices event. We've gone through our entire showroom and shrunk a lot of our already low prices. You could save hundreds, plus you don't pay for 16 months, interest-free.
Yeah, still working on the parallel parking though.
And welcome back. Just over 25 millimeters of rain came down yesterday. I think most of that came down in my porch. There's a hole in my roof. More to come over the weekend. It doesn't look like we'll be seeing that first frost for the next week, so I hope that gives producers enough time to get the last of the crops in. Let's take a look at the almanac. Yesterday's high was 11.7, the low 5.3. A year ago, 17.9 was the high, 3.1 the low. The record, 28.7, that was way back in 1997, and the low minus 10.4 in 1989. The normal high 14 degrees, the normal low 3. Sun rose this morning at 7:41, and man, those days are getting shorter. We'll set tonight at 7:17. Let's take a look at our forecast for tonight. 4 degrees, wind out of the north at 10. 30% chance of showers today. That will go up to 40% by the morning. We're going to start off the day with 7 degrees and lots of rain, and by the afternoon, of course, 9 degrees is the high, wind out of the northeast at 15, and 70% chance of showers. Our full forecast looks like this. I guess those of us at CKX with an extended weekend, we don't really have too much to look forward to. 9 degrees is the high, 4 the low on Sunday, and lots of clouds across the board there. Monday, 12 degrees is the high, the low 3. Tuesday, 10 is the high, low 4. Wednesday, the high is 10 and the low 4. And Thursday, still cloudy skies, 9 degrees is the high and low is 2. Tyler, it's good to meet you here again for the final time and heading into sports.
And we have got probably, arguably, one of the best local sportscasts we've had in our history.
In our history?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I am excited.
It's a good one. It's a good one. We're talking about the Brandon Wheat Kings, of course. 2 more big games for them this weekend, and there's 2 big additions to their roster as well. Stay tuned for that.
Weather is brought to you by your locally owned and operated Leon's Furniture Superstore. Rest assured, you're getting the best selection and value in mattresses at Leon's Furniture Superstore.
In the world of PowerSmart, the best way to save energy is to find out where you're losing it. With the air tightness test from Manitoba Hydro, you can. Wow, your home could definitely be more efficient. Oh! Let's look inside to see exactly where you're losing energy. Common air leaks include light fixtures, windowsills, and electrical outlets. Now that you have your checklist, it looks like you're ready to make some energy-saving changes. For your in-home energy evaluation, visit hydro.mb.ca.
Ready? There you go. Welcome to A&W. What can I get for you today?
2 teen burgers, please, to go.
Sure. Oh, you'll be pleased to know these teens are 2 for $6 right now.
Is that right?
Yes. Napkins are in the bag. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. That felt great. Next time, ask for the $6. Didn't I? No.
Right now, get 2 teen burgers for only $6 at A&W.
Have you got what it takes to get into the Coors Light Mystery Mansion? Like a strong will and determination. But the only way to get in is to win. Look for a pin inside specially marked cases. Must be 19 or older. No purchase necessary. Details at CoorsLight.ca. So close. Yet so far. Coors Light. Who wants a cold one?
At Intact Insurance Company, we think the best way to protect you is to put ourselves in your place. When your car needs repair after a collision, you want to be certain the job will be done right. At Intact Insurance, we'll guarantee the workmanship done by our Rely network for as long as you own your car. Sound like the kind of insurance company you want? Then talk to your broker about us. Intact Insurance. You're back.
To your house.
And welcome back, and there's returns on both sides tonight as the Brandon Wheat Kings take on the Red Deer Rebels. Now this past week, the Wheat Kings made it a perfect 6 for 6 when it came to getting players assigned from National Hockey League camps, with Braden Shen and Brandonite Matt Calvert back in Wheat King colors. Over on the Red Deer side, ex-Wheat King Nathan Green is back at Westman Place to face his former teammates for the first time. The 20-year-old was dealt during the off-season, which allowed the Wheat Kings to move up in the CHL import draft, where they chose Finnish forward Toni Raela. Green and the Rebels enter action with a record of 2-3, with the Winnipeg product having 3 points in those 5 games. Now, following Friday's face-off with the Rebels, the Wheat Kings will battle their East Division rivals, the Saskatoon Blades, on Saturday. Brandon enters action, having won 3 straight games.
That's really how the season's gone. It's our 3rd weekend, and I think that there's lots to be excited about. We have played without a lot of key guys. We've been slowly adding people back this weekend with, the exception of Toni Raela. We'll be back to a full complement, so it'll be great. And obviously, we can't sit around and wait for Braden and Matt to do it. We got to make sure we're ready to play, because sometimes you see that happen as well. We got to be, I think in a lot of respects, continuing to build on some of the positive steps that we've taken so far.
Well, the Southwest Cougars are hoping the preseason means a whole lot. After posting a record of 4-1, the Cougars are hoping to carry that over into the regular season, which gets underway this weekend. Now, the Cougars are in Kenora to tangle with the Thistles. Troy Leslie is back behind the bench after a 3-year absence. And as far as players go, well, the Cougars have a good core of veterans, along with some top-notch rookies coming into the mix, including first-round Bantam draft pick Reed Gow of Killarney.
We've got a fairly skilled team. I think our team speed and our puck handling is definitely our strong points, and we're going to have some work to do on our own end, and some of the things with the younger guys who haven't played in the league before defensively. So again, we're quite optimistic.
In the NHL today, former Brandon Wheat King Brian McCabe and the Florida Panthers were across the pond in Finland facing the Chicago Blackhawks. Pick it up in the 3rd. We're tied at 1s. Another ex-Wheat King, Dustin Buffalin, bangs home the loose puck. It's 2-1 for Chicago. Later in the 3rd, Blackhawks now up 3-2. David Booth collects the puck, and a ball just twined from there, so we're tied up at 3s. Overtime solved nothing, so we head to the shootout. Billy Koivunen will go high blocker side on the Blackhawks tender for a nice tally in the shootout. From there, the pressure's on Patrick Sharp, needing to score to keep it going, but no dice, though. The Panthers win 4-3. To Sweden we go, as Souris native Andy Murray and the St. Louis Blues were taking on the Detroit Red Wings. The first period, the Blues will strike first offensively. Jay McClement receives the puck in front and fires. It's 1-0 for the Blues. Later, the Red Wings will respond with the ref getting involved. Jonathan Erickson pounces on the loose puck, so we're all tied up at 1. Second period, Detroit's in front 2-1, and they increase their lead. Billy Leno, he fires and scores, make it 3-1, but the Blues battle back, starting with veteran member Paul Correa. He scores with the wrister. Quick release on the shot. St. Louis trails by 1. Still in the middle stanza, the Blues tie it up, and then they take the lead. Courtesy Mr. Correa with an absolute beauty. It's 4-3 after 40, and that was your final, Kim, after 60 minutes of play. So that does it for first half sports. Coming up in the second half of sports, we have Brandon Bobcat highlights, because they got the Super 8 volleyball tournament underway at the BU Gym, plus a very big soccer event coming up for 2 Brandonites. So you can stay tuned for
Guys,
all
we've got a lot of local sports coming up then.
Gotta love it, right?
It's great. Thanks a lot, Tyler. And right after the break, highlights from all the years we spent covering the stories that matter in Westman. Thanks for staying with us.
At Balin Industries, we bring innovation to the design of unique architectural steel buildings or large industrial projects. We have been a positive corporate force in our community for over 35 years, providing quality products and services through cost-effective building solutions. Established in 1969, Balin has been instrumental in shaping the landscape of communities throughout North America, and we take pride in the work we do. Balin continues to grow, and we look forward to what the future holds. Balin Industries, shaping our community.
Ducks Unlimited annual fundraising evenings provide the necessary framework to continue the work of this organization. Fundraising evenings in your community feature a banquet dinner with both raffle and auctions in support of Ducks Unlimited Canada's continuing work with conservation. Auction items include sports memorabilia, artwork, sculptures, and many other great raffle and auction items. Be sure to join us, get involved in your community, and know that you helped ensure wetland habitats will be prosperous for generations to come.
Well, earlier today on the Noon Show, Debbie shared some memories of CKX television over the last 54 years. It's really amazing to see how many faces have passed through these doors and just how many places we've reported from. Well, this building has been overflowing all day with past employees and people in the community who wanted to show their support, and our shooters and editors have been working hard at gathering a few more memories for you. We'd like to share those with you now.
Hospital administrators say that these ideas may soon be a reality because of healthcare cutbacks. Wanda Salen, Pulse News.
Despite what some band members see as a solution for the reserve, others here at Gamblers First Nation believe the problem is far from being solved. On the Gambler Reserve, Lisa Meaches, Pulse News.
Of the raw grain brought into the plant daily, 65 tons of it from local producers. 1/3 is lost during the process. 1/3 is manufactured into pure alcohol, which is blended with gasoline in Winnipeg. And the final third is manufactured into this, distiller's dried grain, which is then sold back to feedlots to begin the cycle all over again. Brent Fitzpatrick, Pulse News.
Most of the money will be going towards unpaid premiums. In Brandon, Renee Jouette, Pulse News.
Of a possible 450 candidates for the Yugoslavian mission, 350 people volunteered, and a large percentage of those who will be selected to go have only recently returned from peacekeeping duties in Cyprus. On the Shiloh Range, David Giroux, Pulse News.
It will take 2 to 3 months to bring the full potential of the system online to deal with the gambling addiction claims. In Brandon, Jason Wawada, Pulse News.
It's a fun event, but it also gives city dwellers a first-hand look at what farming is all about. Rocky Neufeld, Prairie Pulse.
Both the RM and village councils want to see the process continue until a site is found. In Hamiota, Lori Bailey, Prairie Pulse.
Just find the nearest polling station with a piece of ID and prepare to sign an affidavit. To find a polling station, check out the City of Brandon website. In Brandon, Joe Olafson, CKX News.
In Brandon, Jill Officer, CKX News.
Reach a decision on the budget tonight and set the special levy. Now the challenge for them is to deliver quality education at a cost acceptable to the average taxpayer. In Brandon, Susan Tomofichuk, Pulse News.
The RM of Elton's primary concern is losing land around the airport, which they'll discuss in 3 weeks' time when all councils meet again to come up with a plan that's in all of their best interests. In Brandon, Bindu Suri, CKX News.
Renovations will begin in a few days, and by spring, Deep Bay Cabin will be ready to welcome its new guest. In Riding Mountain National Park, Lindsay Winter, CKX News.
The future looking good for the Shiloh Emergency Service Center, a new building to house a crew that deserves every benefit it has to offer, allowing them to continue the job they do so bravely. In Shiloh, Josh Crabb, CKX News.
13 to 18-year-olds will step up to the plate in Part 2 of Youth 1 tomorrow. All of the youth's concerns will be documented and distributed to the corresponding committees, so Brandon can become an attractive place for youth to live, learn, work, and play. In Brandon, Llewellyn Laycock, CKX News.
And on Saturday from 8 till 5. But if it's like Winnipeg, the beef will go fast, so the sooner you get here, the better.
In Brandon, Aaron Harrison, CKX News.
Brandon and Saskatoon won't have to wait too long to renew acquaintances. These same two teams go at it again next Wednesday in the third game of a 4-game Saskatchewan road trip for the Wheat Kings. At the Keystone Center, Dan Oman, CKX Sports.
Bobcats are coming off back-to-back 22 seasons in the Great Plains Division. Now, it's hard to know if this year's team will be offensively exciting as teams in the past, but offense is not really a concern for the players, especially their head coach. A Vassal telling his players that defense wins you championships. In Brandon, Jesse Carlson, CKX Sports.
Although Brandon won't have home ice advantage in this series, they do have plenty of postseason experience. This year's team has a total of 381 playoff games under their belt, a stat that could come in very handy during this first round. In Brandon, Tyler Crayston, CKX Sports.
That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
We're going to have sights and sounds of the home opener coming up a little bit later.
We sure are.
You bet.
And you said it best. We'll go to break. We'll see you in a minute.
15 degrees right now. The wind is south at 22. 52% is the current relative humidity, and that's the weather.
In Rivers, Rachel Keene, CKX News.
In Minnedosa, Matt Young, CKX News.
In Rossburn, Candace Bowles, CKX News.
In Oak River, Mitch Rossett, CKX News.
In Brandon, Kumada Ramanathan, CKX News.
In Brandon, Selena Drapal, CKX News.
In Brandon, Kim Kasher, CKX News.
In the arm of Oakland, Tamara Forlansky, CKX News.
In Ninette, Lindsay Winter, CKX News.
In Brandon, Mark Jardine, CKX News.
From Clear Lake, Tanya Kohut, CKX News.
In Brandon, Heather Steele, CKX News.
Near Wawanesa, Bindu Surrey, CKX News.
In Brandon, Allison Hawkins, CKX News.
In Brandon, Matt Packwood, CKX News.
In Brandon, Jody Zamerket, CKX News.
In Brandon, Megan Batchelor, CKX News. In Rivers, Kayla Hounsel, CKX News.
You can do the right thing, call home for a right thing. Don't drink and drive, designated driver, pull an overnighter, arrive alive. Call a cab or a friend, plan ahead, do the right thing.
Helping you arrive alive for more than 20 years. Arrive alive, drive sober.
Are you tired of fumbling to adjust locking pliers? Get new Benchmark Auto-Lock self-adjusting pliers, only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Auto-Lock pliers adjust automatically to any size and lock on. And now there are Benchmark Auto-Lock grooved pliers, designed for one-handed use and made for professionals. Pick up your self-adjusting Benchmark Auto-Lock pliers today from just $14.97.
Homeowners, helping homeowners.
Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Embrace the grape at this year's Westman Wine Festival. The public wine tasting is on Friday, October 23rd, and the gala dinner is Saturday, October 24th. All proceeds go toward the Elspeth Reed Family Fund. Over 80 wines, only at the Westman Wine Festival.
Start seeing it all in high definition this year with the help of Television City. Offering a wide selection of HD TVs, stereos, Blu-ray players, and more, Television City is on the cutting edge of technology. Television City, simply amazing.
Sometimes the choices for great food and entertainment are as clear as crystal. The new and improved Crystal Hotel is the best place to grab your favorite beverage and some great food at prices you can't resist. Karaoke Thursday nights, live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights, big screen sporting events, plus cash draws each and every day. Check out the Mexican Corner Rincon Restaurant, serving authentic Mexican food while still cooking up your old favorites. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, check out the Mexican Corner. Good things are happening at the Crystal Hotel and Pub. Come experience it for yourself.
Well, any chance to compete at the highest level is truly an honor, but imagine doing so and bringing back some hardware as well. One Brandon family has done so, and soon they're taking another kick at netting a championship title. Mitch Rossett has more.
Everybody wants to win.
For 17-year-old Jordan Hope and his dad, it's another kick at National Premier Gold.
If you're not trying your best, you're not going to accomplish anything when you're down there. Always give it 100%.
We intend on winning it. You know, that's our intentions. We're going there to do the best we can.
Hope has been suiting up for the past 4 years with the Portage Trail Icebergs. The same amount of time his dad Warren has been an assistant coach with the Icebergs, a premier team which competes against others from Winnipeg and occasionally from the States.
I've learned a lot from this team. An awesome coach, some good guys. It's fun playing with them.
This year, both Brandonites, the only ones on the team, are heading to Edmonton with the squad for their second straight national showing. The Icebergs took part in the Under-16 Adidas Cup hosted in Sydney, Nova Scotia last year. For 2009, it's a step up. Portage Trail features a handful of 17-year-olds on the roster and will be competing in the U18 Sony Cup.
You're playing against bigger, faster, teams. It's just a whole different level there. It's good for the kids that they learn more in a tournament like that than they'll learn all year.
Be bigger, stronger guys.
In 2008, the center midfielder brought home bronze with the Icebergs, a special moment for the Hope family, especially with Warren watching on the sidelines.
Just for Manitoba to do that well at a tournament like that, and to be part of it with your son, it's pretty special.
The family duo hope to accomplish such a feat again, but for Jordan, he's also looking to turn the heads of post-secondary scouts.
I'm still looking. Hopefully this year at Nationals could help me with that.
He's kind of what you would call the orchestrator of the team. He plays in the middle. Basically the team has been structured around him, and he's performed really well. You couldn't ask for anything more. As far as future, it's whatever he wants. It's university or whatever he decides.
Well, the Under-18 Sony Cup National Championship kicks off next week in Edmonton. Closer to home, 4 teams from the Brandon United Soccer Club are heading down the Trans-Canada Highway this weekend, looking to capture championships in the Winnipeg Youth Soccer Association Leagues. Those vying for titles are the Cougars Under-15 boys team, the Westman Sirens Under-17 girls squad, the Rush Under-14 girls team, and the Flyers Under-15 girls team. Well, the Brandon Bobcats men's volleyball team was in action this afternoon, kick-starting the Super 8 tournament. The Bobcats were battling the Winnipeg Westmen, pick it up in the third set, with the Bobcats leading by 2 sets. Riley Phillips smashes one to make it 3-0 for BU. Later, the Bobcats step up with solid defense. There's no getting past the Brandon brick wall on that play. Then the Riley Phillips show continues. He cranks another, so we're tied at 14 points apiece, but Winnipeg does stick around and drew town with the dip, and it finds open floor. The Bobcats are still up, though, 20-17, and that's the way it would stay. Russell Product, Kevin Miller showing off some power coming up right about here. There you are, Kev. The Bobcats sweep the Westmen.
We really did limit our errors, not too many serving errors, put them in trouble enough that our blocking, helped out our block and defense as well.
In the Westman High School Volleyball League from last night, the Vincent Massey Vikings were taking on the Neelan Spartans. Thomas Harper pulling double duty, first the block and then the wicked kill as well. Still in the opening set, Cale Dixon delivers to Tegan Nagorski, and he puts the hammer down with authority. Neelan wins it 25-19. Second set we go. A Kirby Sinclair slicing one down to the floor, but the Vikings will take this one courtesy Adam Carter. He will find open real estate. Massey evens up the match at 1 set apiece. However, the Spartans take the final 2, 25-23, 25-22, winning this contest 3-1.
You know what? Our boys battled hard on both sides of the net. Luckily, we came out on top, but I think it was overall a good game for us.
And one more thing to take care of, that's of course our play of the day, the final play of the day ever. So I thought it was only fitting that we give this play of the day to the legendary Toronto Maple Leafs. So
Gosh.
let's have a peek.
Play of the day brought to you by RE/MAX. Where do you want to be? Nobody works harder for you than RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
All right, better be a good one, Tyler.
Well, it's a pretty good one. Maple Leafs came up short against the Canadiens last night. They lost in overtime, but that's not what's important. It's hard work down low by the Maple Leafs, winning the battle right there. Alexei Ponikarovsky gets the Leafs' first goal of the regular season. It's so nice that we get to see it twice, and we got tons of time, so we can even see it thrice and 4 times.
You got all night, Tyler, really.
You got all night.
All night for you.
You bet. So it's not bad for the play of the day. So we give it to a team that's very close to my heart, and that's the Buds. So
there you go for all the Leafs fans out there.
You bet.
Well, great job, Tyler.
Well, thanks very much.
I'm sure that people, at home are going to sure miss this face. Tyler Crayston, bringing in local sports, and no one else is doing it in this area. So, man, are you ever going to be missed?
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, just growing up in this area in Glenora, I mean, that's what I grew up on was CKX. You know, watching guys like Mike Stackhouse and Ken Playtink and those guys, and I mean, that's kind of where I got my start, was coming here for work experience when I was in grade 7, and if you would have told me that however many years later I would have been the sports director here, I wouldn't have believed you. So it meant a lot to work here, and it was an absolute blast. So
you've done an amazing job.
Oh, thanks very much, Kay. It was great. It was the people that made it that wonderful. Everybody, not only in this building but outside in the local sports community, were all great to work with. So.
Absolutely, and I've certainly enjoyed my time with you and Mitch. We both have such different personalities, and I have so much fun going back and forth between you guys and having a chance to have a little banter. I know my mom always looks forward to the banter.
Gotta love the banter, and you gotta love Mitch Rossett as well. He was a great guy to work with.
Doing a great job, and it was good of him to let you do the last cast as well.
Yeah,
he's up on Fridays.
Meant a lot to be up here. So.
Awesome, thanks, Tyler.
You bet.
Well, I just want to thank you again, all of our faithful viewers, and we hope that you'll stick around because we do have a little bit more to share.
Whether you or a loved one needs special personal attention, New Life Health Services can provide that for you. New Life's dependable staff guarantees peace of mind. Their professional team of healthcare experts provide in-home nursing assistance through licensed private nurses. In addition to private nursing and aides, New Life can arrange for meal assistance, childcare, and companion visits to home or hospital. Get your freedom back. Call the professionals at New Life Health Services today, because if it's freedom you're looking for, you found it at New Life Health Services.
Sears Days are back. Get the lowest prices of the season on select items right now at Sears Days. Save big on this Kenmore Self-Clean Smooth Top range, now only $599.99. Kenmore Front-Load Laundry Teams starting at $979.98. Esquire Natural Euro Top Pocket Coil Queen Size Sleep Sets are more than $1,000 off. And get clearance prices on select floor model lawn tractors, lawn mowers, and air conditioners. Sears Days at Sears Furniture and Appliances, 18th Street North.
It may still be 2009 everywhere else, but at your local Ford store, it's 2010. And during the Ford 2010 Right Here, Right Now event, we're welcoming the early arrival of our 2010 lineup with special offers, like 0% purchase financing for up to 60 months on selected 2010 models with our latest innovations, safety, and design. So hurry into your Ford store. Your 2010 is right here, right now.
We each paid $3.99 for 3 different value combos. He shoots, he scores.
We each had our choice of entree and sides. Don't call a plumber.
'Cause he drains it. And your Junior Hamburger Deluxe is made with fresh, never frozen beef. 5, 4,
I'm
3,
into
2.
curling.
Only Wendy's offers $3.99 value combos, each with your choice of side and a drink.
It's way delicious. It's Wendy's.
All right, so welcome back, and here we are the last time. That was our last break, and before we go to black, so I wanted to take a couple seconds to talk about what's your favorite memory. Can you even whittle it down to that?
Maybe covering, I don't know, maybe my first Sweet Kings practice. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Getting to talk to a guy like Eric Fair, who went on to, of course, play with the Washington Capitals in the NHL. I don't know, that's the other cool part about the job, is getting to meet so many cool people, like John Paddock, of course, used to coach at the Ottawa Senators. Now he's assistant general manager at the Philadelphia Flyers. You get to meet a cool guy like that. You know, Mitch talked with Andy Murray during the summer. There's so many wonderful people to meet and to talk to, and to be able to interview those guys and then be able to tell the story and then send it out to the fine folks that watch us. That's another cool part of the job. I was hoping to work here till I was like 85 years old.
Well, you're close, aren't you?
20, when am I, 26?
Well, I know that there's been so many people that have come through the doors as well and gone into bigger places. People at home have seen so many people come through. Lots of people in sports.
You bet. Well, Leah Hextall is one of them. She's a local product who did a great job now with CTV Winnipeg, and there's guys that are on a TSN now, and yeah, there's plenty of great faces that have gone through here. Dan Oman, he's another great guy. You know, he was a real mentor to me and a guy that, you know, meant a lot to getting to me, you know, to where I am right now. And Jesse Carlson, there's another great guy. You know, CTV Saskatoon. Me and Carlo had some great times too. So yeah, that's the other part, is all the memories that you're going to take away. That's what. Don't focus on how this place ended. Remember all the memories before that. It's what I'm going to take away from it. So.
Awesome. Well, I want to take a minute just to, I want to throw a thanks out first to Ray Smith. He is just a master of a whole bunch of trades, really, and he's been here for years, and he worked really hard at putting together all of those montages today. So thank you so much, Ray Smith, because that was really very special, very touching, and we all really appreciated that. And I want to take a couple seconds at least to bring some of the people in here, some behind the camera people. We have reporters coming through, our shooters, our editors. We have all the people who are working in master control and in the office, and all the programming that needs to take place. There are sure a lot of people that we depend on every time we come up here to put a good show together for you. And certainly a very difficult day for us, and we appreciate all the comments that have come in through Brandon and on the telephone lines and all of those things as well.
That means a lot.
And my face is a new one on this set. You at home have certainly seen your share of newcomers, lots of mistakes and lots of successes along the way. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell your stories. But there's one person who is a pillar in this place, a person who has mentored me and so many others. I can't imagine the kind of patience and generosity it takes to mold one person after another and continue to produce quality news programming. But that's exactly what our news director has done here at CKX News, and she's been part of it for almost 20 years. It's only fitting that we give Monica Truffin the final word.
Good evening. I'm Monica Truffin, News Director here at CKX TV. Many of you probably heard this is our last cast. Just yesterday, Blue Point Investment pulled out of its offer to purchase CKX, and it has been decided that CKX TV will close its doors after this evening's news. I do want to take the time to say thank you to our dedicated viewers over the years. CKX has been broadcasting in Brandon since 1955, when it was founded by Craig Media. CKX Television has always been committed to covering local news and sports stories that matter to you, our viewers. We have been there for it all. Over the years, the faces have changed. Many have moved on to have very successful careers. And throughout all those changes, you, our viewers, have stuck with us, knowing you would see different people sitting at this desk and on the noon show, but knowing we would still deliver the coverage you would expect to see. CKX was Westman's only local television news. Our region stretched from the United States border into the Duck Mountain Provincial Park and from the Saskatchewan border east to Gladstone and beyond. CKX has been live from the Royal Manitoba Winter Fair to providing our viewers with live access to the Brandon Wheat Kings. Or our noon show over the years has provided audiences with the latest in information and entertainment. But now we fade to black. So thank you for making us your choice at noon and 6 and allowing us to come into your home every day. A privilege we never took for granted. Good night.